Here's what happens when peaceful protesters dare to challenge government censorship in 2025 Britain. London witnessed an unprecedented crackdown on Saturday as Metropolitan Police detained a staggering 532 individuals during what became the most significant demonstration connected to Palestine Action since authorities officially banned the activist organization. But here's where it gets controversial. The vast majority weren't arrested for violence or destruction, but simply for holding up pieces of paper. The demonstration unfolded in Parliament Square, where hundreds of participants gathered in response to a call from campaign organization Defend Our Juries. The group had specifically requested attendees to display placards bearing a simple yet powerful message: "I oppose genocide. I support Palestine Action." What happened next raises uncomfortable questions about the boundaries of free speech in modern Britain. Out of the 532 arrests made that day, an overwhelming 522 individuals found themselves in police custody under Section 13 of the Terrorism Act, not for committing acts of terrorism, but for the supposed crime of displaying an item in support of the proscribed organization. This means that holding a sign expressing support for Palestine Action's cause was deemed sufficient grounds for arrest under anti-terrorism legislation. And this is the part most people miss: the implications of using terrorism laws to silence political dissent. When did supporting an activist group's mission become equivalent to supporting terrorism? The use of such heavy-handed legislation against peaceful protesters holding signs has sparked intense debate about whether Britain is sliding toward authoritarianism under the guise of national security. The scale of these arrests represents something unprecedented in recent British protest history. Never before have we witnessed such a massive detention operation targeting individuals whose only alleged crime was expressing solidarity with a banned organization through written messages. This coordinated response by law enforcement suggests a deliberate strategy to intimidate others who might consider showing similar support. But here's what makes this even more contentious. Palestine Action was proscribed as a terrorist organization despite engaging primarily in direct action protests against arms manufacturers and companies supporting Israeli military operations. Critics argue that banning the group represents an attempt to criminalize legitimate anti-war activism, while supporters of the ban claim it's necessary to prevent escalation of illegal activities. The choice of Parliament Square as the demonstration location was far from coincidental. This historic site has long served as Britain's premier venue for political protest, from suffragette demonstrations to anti-war rallies. Saturday's mass arrests in this symbolically significant space send a chilling message about the current state of protest rights in the UK. What's particularly striking is how swiftly and systematically the arrests were carried out. The coordination required to detain over 500 people simultaneously suggests extensive planning and preparation by law enforcement agencies. This level of organization raises questions about whether authorities were more interested in making a public example than in addressing any genuine security threat. The aftermath of these arrests will likely reverberate far beyond Parliament Square. Legal experts are already questioning whether using terrorism legislation to prosecute sign-holding protesters represents a dangerous overreach of government power. Meanwhile, civil liberties advocates warned that Saturday's events could set the precedent for silencing future political dissent. So here's the question that demands an answer. In a democracy, should expressing support for a banned organization's stated goals be treated as a terrorist offense? Are we witnessing legitimate law enforcement or the systematic suppression of political opposition? The events in Parliament Square force us to confront uncomfortable truths about the direction Britain is heading. What do you think? Were these arrests a necessary response to prevent support for terrorism? Or do they represent an authoritarian crackdown on peaceful political expression? Should holding a sign with your political beliefs be grounds for arrest under terrorism laws? Share your thoughts and let's have this crucial conversation about the future of protest rights in Britain.